Well, while we're on that subject, Bill, excluding yourself, greatest 5 stand-ups of all time for you.
It's funny you said excluding yourself. Whenever I watch rappers, they always go like, "So me."
I thought I'd make it easier for you. Just get yourself out of that.
It's so fucking funny. It's like nauseating, the narcissism, and then there's something about the honesty of that I love. Well, I'm obviously fucking amazing.
But when Kanye does it, you go, yeah, that's fair. You could, that's legitimate to put yourself in the top 5, and he definitely would.
Yeah, and there's something about it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to listen to somebody talking shit about themselves. What do you say? Top 5?
Top 5 all time.
Okay, Pryor, Carlin, Joan Rivers. This is where it gets hard. Like, who am I going to put in? Like, I just love so many people. These are just influential people for me. Cheech and Chong,
Go one more.
Sam Kinison. I'm not going one more. I got
He's going to give us the top 50.
Yeah.
I only don't throw Patrice in there just because I knew that idiot. And it would bug him.
Yeah.
It would bug him if he heard me and if I put him in or if I didn't. But, Mitch Hedberg, Doug Stanhope, Joe Rogan. And this is why I hate doing this. Mike Epps. I know I'm going to forget somebody.
Chappelle.
Oh, obviously, Jesus Christ.
I'd love if you said, nah, not him.
Jesus Christ. It's hard to do people that are doing it right now because you're making me look back.
Yeah.
Obviously him. Jesus Christ. Me doing that is literally like when the guy wins the Oscar and he forgets to thank his wife or his mother. The fuck did I forget, Dave?
Yeah. Dave's watching it and he's furious.
We're up to
Because you know what it was? I was trying so hard to make sure all these other people that I feel don't get
the recognition they deserve.
Yeah.
Well, we're on to about 55 at this point, man.
It's interesting. People never say Kinison. I think people have forgotten Kinison. Chris Rock said Kinison was a lost.
Yeah, what about Rock? What about Rock? Fucking hell.
Well, some of those guys, it's like you don't need to say it because they're like all. I got to throw somebody in there that. Fucking Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
dude, Jim Carrey being Tony Clifton, reenacting the Kennedy assassination is one of the greatest pieces of physical comedy you're ever fucking believable. And I got a chance when I did SNL to talk to him about it. I go, "Did you work that out?" He goes, "Nah, he just saw the car and he got in and did it." And it's just like, that's just thing. Just like, fuck, I gotta work hard. Yeah. So there you go. We did it. We talked fucking world politics right down. I know there's other people. George Gobel I liked. Gonna go back to the old school guys. George Gobel.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh my God, Rodney! Come on.
Yeah, so good.
There's too many of them.
There you go. Bill's favorite 5 stand-ups.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby.
I'm glad you brought him up.
I mean, look,
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Dave Attell.
Oh,
Dave
David
Attell
Attell
is brilliant.
He's fucking brilliant.
You almost have to be just like, you got to do like, all right, your favorite comedians in New York City during this period. Because being that, it would have been Chappelle, Attell, Louis C.K. God, I'm getting so old. I got to remember the names here. Greer Barnes.
Yeah.
Talent.
Favorite British stand-up?
Favorite British stand-up. Oh, I saw this guy. I don't know what his name is. I retweeted it. He did some fucked up. I can't remember. He just did this completely fucked up bit. It was about a house in an attic and something that a kid saw. It was so fucking dark. I can't even remember the premise of it.
Whoever that comedian is seething right now. The Bill Burr loves this shit, but can't remember his name.
If we find out, we'll put it in the video.
I'm really bad.
Yeah. What was do you remember the joke or anything like that?
Is there a comic with last name Boyle?
Frankie
Boyle.
Is it Frankie Boyle?
Frankie Boyle. Yeah.
I can't remember the premise of the bit, and I saw it, and I just was fucking screaming, laughing.
Yeah.
Bill, you mentioned Patrice.
Yep.
He's one of the greats. What was he like as a person to be around?
He was everything. Everything was on 10. That guy was on 10. If he was being cool, he was the coolest guy you ever met. If he was being funny, he was the funniest guy you ever met. If he was being an asshole, you wanted to fucking kill him. I still have arguments with him. Like, that's how, like, the level of this guy. He's been dead for like fucking 11, coming up on 11 years. I can't believe it. But like, this shit, I'm still figuring out that he crossed the line, and I'm thinking, because I was so like, you know, slow. I wasn't up to what he was doing. But, you know, I had all kinds of, you know, amazing conversations, just talking about life, how we ended up where we were at, how the two of us ended up being friends. You know, I had fallen outs with them. I had like everything. I mean, it was like a fucking mini series with that guy. So there's no real way to sum him up in a few minutes. But I will say that, you know, if guys like him, you know, Mitch Hedberg, Bernie Mac, we've lost so many like amazing people. Like I often wonder, like, how many tickets would I be selling if these guys were still around? You know, just one of those things. That's another way to make it live. Keep living.
Did he influence your comedy at all? Did he ever say to you, "Oh man, you need to go like this way or that way"? Or
he used to try to do that to me in the beginning, which was funny, which was classic him, because I'd actually been doing stand up longer than him, and he'd been doing. He was already pontificating. But like, the thing about him, I remember him was like early on, he was challenging himself, like going on stage and opening with a different joke. And like when you're a new comic, when you first start, like you're a new joke. Yeah. Your opening joke is your life raft.
Yeah, that's a
like
risk,
this is gonna give me. And he's, you know, he was kind of doing stuff like that. But yeah, he was. You know, it was. We were both two fucked up kids, so we had it. You know, good times, bad times. Had to like fucking take breaks from each other. I remember he used to take breaks from white people in general, and like I had to take breaks from going down to the cellar sometimes. It's like I just don't want to go down there and just fucking have to have all my deflector shields up and be fucking, you know, shooting claymores over at everybody. It was a fucking war. It was so stupid. It's really been glamorized, that table at the cellar, but it was fucking. What we did was stupid. We just fucking were ripping. It was funny, but we never did anything creatively. I don't know. The way we helped each other was actually coming out of that. It's really hard to hurt my feelings. Like, I mean, I can handle. Like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Yeah, but I, you know, there's so many of those comics, you know, that, you know, I'm still a fan of stand-up, and I just, you know, miss, besides them, like, man, what would they be saying about this? You know what I mean? And like, how great would stand-up comedy be if this, like, there's like 20 of them that were, you know, better than I was. That Pat just seemed to, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I just got older and I just knew people and they were just all dying, but like so many people just passed away that were just, you know, absolute beasts, and they were like on their way to something. There was a kid, I don't know his name because I just discovered him when he passed away. Somebody told me, and it just was heartbreaking to see this kid's stuff. And he was like 28, and the stuff he was doing and the angle that he had, I was just like, oh man, he was already great, but he was going to be somebody that really had something to say. Like he would have been great for stand-up. So it sucks.
Fitzsimmons is such a so he came right before you from Boston.
Yeah, he was. As far as in Boston, there was that group of comics was there was Rogan, Greg Fitzsimmons,
Dane.
No, Dane actually started right out of high school, so he started in 90. I thought he started in 91, but like Dane was more my generation. And who else was up there? Like Jim Loletta, Todd Parker, fucking Robbie Prince, all of that. Those are like, you know, all of that crew. And then after that, it was I came up with like Bobby, Dane, Patrice, Gary Gulman came like right after that. Orny. And it was a great.
That's a crazy class.
Yeah, it was great. And then when we moved, and then Jersey had like Florentine and Norton and all that, and then we all just sort of came into New York at the same time, and and then all of that shit happened.
Yeah, the Patrice doc has little snippets. Thank God somebody was rolling a camera back then. There's a scene where you guys are all hanging on the sidewalk, and then Rich Voss walks up and goes, "What is this, a couple of middles?" 0 laugh, a pause, and then everybody laughed at him. How bad that bombed. And I was like, oh, that's such a great little moment that I don't feel like we have anymore.
Were fucking brutal to each other. It was so stupid. When I look back now, I mean, it's funny, but it was so stupid. We didn't write one script, one sketch. All we did was try to destroy each other's confidence. It was just such like, yeah, it was like a bunch of abused like rescue dogs all put in the same, with like one pork chop there. It was just fucking, yeah, dude, I used to fucking have anxiety going down to the cellar, and I was just thinking of everybody. I would think like 3 fucking insults for just to kind of get, I was like, okay, if it comes at me, I'm going to get it off me and I'll send it this way. And, but what if Bobby's not there? Bobby's not there. I can't use that. It's like, and you couldn't look at the lineup. Like
right.
You can, so you had no idea it was going to be down there.
And then the worst is when you say one and they're like, you prepared that. I did. I thought I was going to be smarter. Shit.
We missed that. We really missed out on that. Like I guess when I first got in, I remember Colin Quinn and Keith like beating up on me when I was like brand new, and I was like, this is amazing. This is it, But my first.
And somehow it became like toxic.
I know.
This is bad. And then like you go in there now and it's just like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, I'm not going to romanticize like it was all, because I was comics going to me like, why do you sit down there? Just go down and do your spot. And if I was a healthier person, I would have been like, this isn't working for me. I'm not enjoying this. Like, I'd like to come down here and feel good about myself, not feel worse. Oh my God, the amount of shirts I could never wear again.
Right.
It was just like, I remember one time. I think it was Keith. Keith was getting so trashed for what he had on. He just stood up in the middle of the pounding and just ran out. And I remember, you can do that? I didn't know you could leave. I thought you'd just sit here until it was over.
Damn. I saw Ted do that once. He sat down, everybody made fun of his sweater, and he just got up and sat at the booth and had dinner. And I was like, damn, that guy's healthy.
Yes. He was like, this is not working for me, and I'm leaving this. He broke up with us.
Right.
Got out of the relationship.
I remember when I auditioned at the Cellar, the second I sat down, I didn't know these guys. And Keith goes, look at him. Look how scared he is. And I was like, holy shit. Everyone's laughing at me. I'm like, this is my audition. This is crazy.
And he was right.
I was terrified.
Keith was really mean.
So funny. But he was good at it.
I know, I'm fucking around.
He really was good at it. I mean, he really...
that mean laugh.
Oh, yeah.
He just enjoyed crushing you.
Yeah.
I've said this before, but my first night there, my first real paid spot, he was hosting, and he brought me up, and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. And I was in the wings, like, oh, shit, here we go. And he goes, Jerry Seinfeld. The crowd goes apeshit. He goes, I'm kidding. It's some guy. And he brought me on, and I bombed. Good times.
I went up one time down there, and it was just this night everybody showed up. It was like Jerry Seinfeld, Ray Romano, Chris Rock, and then Dave Chappelle.
Jesus.
And I just kept getting bumped. And then it was like me. And the crowd was so spoiled by the time they were doing the intro. People were just looking past me going like, who is it? Is Eddie Murphy coming out?
Right.
Please welcome Bill Burr.
I do feel like if you go after them and you try really hard, I think they like it.
It depends.
You just address it. You just address the disappointment. I just went on stage and I'm like, that's right, motherfuckers. This is what you paid for. Welcome back to reality.
Yeah.
Well, I remember I think it was Rock, Chappelle, and then me. And once they're done going, like, that's their bathroom break. They just saw a show.
Sure.
But then once they sit back down, it's house money. Like, this is their vacation.
Yep.
They're okay with it.
Yeah, that's true. I took a girl on a date once to the Cellar, and it was one of those nights where all these people, Jon Stewart pops in, Trevor Noah, all these people, and it was her first time there, and she thought that's how it was. And then I brought her again, and she was like, ugh, this was brutal. It's just like you and some other guy.
Yeah, that's not, if the first time you go down there, like, that happens, like, yeah. I saw people in the crowd by the time they brought the third one up. I remember Godfrey was hosting, and he was just like, all right, we got a special guest. You might recognize this guy from Everybody Loves Raymond. Please welcome Ray Romano. And the next one's like, okay, this next guy you might recognize from the Seinfeld show. Please welcome Jerry Seinfeld. This next guy you might recognize from the Chris Rock show. Please welcome Chris Rock.
Wow.
And I was like, this next guy you might recognize from the Chappelle show. Please welcome Dave Chappelle. And then it was just like, this next guy's name is Bill Burr. He's been on VH1. And it's a good time to take a shit.
Transgender fan. Hey, all right, look at me crossing over here. Hey, Billy, I've been listening to the podcast since I was 16. I'm 22 now, and I've enjoyed every episode, especially during quarantine. I'm a violinist, sculptor, and a trans man. Look at you. Definition in the next paragraph. Thank you. And have been wanting to write in for a while. After hearing you read the letter a fan sent in about his trans friends attending his wedding, I thought now would be the time. Oh, beautiful. All right, let me do the recap. So this guy was getting married, and not one but two of his friends that he was going to have be groomsmen either had transitioned or were in the process of transitioning. And he was like, am I an asshole if I don't want him to wear a dress? Okay, that was the question. So me knowing nothing about the subject, that didn't stop me from answering it. That's in the, I believe, the previous or 2 episodes ago. All right, so now we're going to actually hear from somebody living the life here. First off, I do want to clarify that by trans man, I mean I transitioned from female to male. Oh, fuck, okay. I didn't get that. I thought trans man meant you went the other way. Okay. In instrument rating, that would be reverse sensing on a VOR for all you pilots out there. In short, I'm a he. In your response to the fan that wrote in, you said that transitioning seems like a massive emotional process, and you were exactly right. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Not bad for a cis white male. When I describe the experience, which I do openly, to create a dialogue for people who are genuinely curious, I often say that transitioning is not an option, but more so the only option for most people like me. Let me ask you this. Before you totally committed, was there any doubt like, okay, I hope, because, I mean, I hope I'm doing the right, I hope I'm getting this right. Because I can't tell you how many times I've misread my feelings. I mean, but the stakes were not that high. That's like fucking, you're going all in with the chips, so to speak. Anyway, he goes, imagine you wake up one day with boobs and are expected to wear heels. After the novelty of having 24/7 access to tits wears off, it fucking sucks. Let me read this again. Imagine you wake up one day with boobs and are expected to wear heels. All right, now wait a minute. I thought you transitioned from a woman to a man. I mean, I transitioned from female to male. Okay. It says, imagine you wake. Oh, maybe he's putting me in this. I don't know. Imagine you wake up one day with boobs and are expected to wear heels. After the novelty of having 24/7 access to tits wears off, it fucking sucks. Nobody chooses to go through all of that trouble of being alienated from friends and family members on a whim. Well, there you go. You just answered my question. For me, if I wanted to have a future post-high school, I had to make this step, and I have avoided a lot of further mental dissonance thanks to the scientists and surgeons who advocated for trans medicine. And yes, I will always trust the opinions of a scientist over a politician. Fair enough. As the wedding scenario goes, I can guarantee his trans grooms were just as conflicted as him. I also came out right before a relative's wedding and was given an ultimatum of, you either lie about your identity if you want to remain a part of this family, or you won't be welcomed back into our lives. That is just fucking, can you imagine your family saying that to you? I ended up playing violin at their ceremony for free and never getting invited to another family reunion. Wow. That is really fucking sad. I'm sorry that happened to you. Hopefully, Jesus, in the near future, that doesn't happen. How do you disown your own kid? I don't get that. I don't get that. I mean, I draw the line of, hearing my kid leave and then getting charged with it at night and covering for a murder. I mean, there are lines. Yeah, you do some Dateline shit, I mean, you're kind of out on your own. But I'd still visit you when you went to jail, and I would be like, where did I fuck up that made you do something like that? Anyway, personally, if I were asked to be a bridesmaid before coming out as a guy, I would have stepped down because I don't want to be the one guy in a traditionally female role. I'm betting this guy's trans grooms people felt similar. I have to fucking do the math on that. I would have stepped down because I don't want to be the one guy in a traditionally female role. I don't know what that means. I'm betting this guy's trans grooms people felt similar. I hope you guys understood what that meant. I didn't get that one sentence. Okay, and here's where the rant opens up. All right, here we go. Taking the gloves off there. All right, a lot of trans people are really pissed by the false and performative allyship the far left has dumped on us with little work to back their claims up. Yeah, it's a fucking show. That's what I think so much of that liberal social justice fucking horseshit is. It's just for you to put on a little performance on your social media page. And people can be like, oh, wow, you're an ally. Here's your little rainbow fucking emoji. And then you can just go back to living your life and you're not getting your hands dirty. It's like those white people that marched with Black Lives Matter as they were live Instagramming themselves. Like, look at me. I have a bandana on. I'm a fucking revolutionary. And then after that, they just went back to their life. Got CrossFit in the morning. We are identifying more as independents because we've experienced hate from the right and tokenism from the left. Oh, yeah, you get used. I mean, which is worse? At least, I mean, I know the hate, if it escalates to violence, is bad, but at least if somebody just straight up says how they feel about you, as opposed to just using you. Anyway, I think a lot of your jokes about trans people are actually more about performative cis people. I don't know what cis means, who are using trans issues for votes because they know we are a very vulnerable group. Well, they kind of do that with everybody. I guess that's the only positive way. Politicians always do that. They're always fucking looking for some fucking angle for themselves. Anyway, but not all of them. They're not all bad. There's got to be some good ones in there. Trans people just want to live a normal life, start a family, and not be claimed as a political pawn. I was at my lowest depression before I started hormones and got my chest masculinization procedure. What chest did you go with? Are they good enough that you can pick one out? Because personally speaking, I would go fucking Matthew McConaughey. But here's the thing. You know what's funny is if they actually get it down someday where you could do that, all of these fucking people who are like anti-trans and all of that shit, if they find out that you can actually get a Matthew McConaughey chest and they're looking at their fucking man tits, they might do it. I got the McConaughey. Right before they fucking put the fucking gas on your face, you have headphones, and the last thing you hear is Matthew McConaughey going, all right, all right, all right. And you wake up with a chiseled tan chest. That'd be fucking hilarious if I did that as a redhead and my chest didn't match the whiteness of my head. Then I have to go reverse Michael Jackson, do a reverse bleaching. Anyway, let's not make this about you, Bill. Anyway, he says, I haven't left the house in weeks. I hadn't left the house in weeks and nearly dropped out of school. Since transitioning, I'm happy, back on stage, volunteering, writing music. That's great. Teaching violin students, running my small business. There you go. Don't work for somebody else. And I have met someone special. Oh, look at you. I know from an outside perspective, being trans seems crazy. If you knew the thunder and lightning between my fucking ears, I don't think anybody's crazy. I think it's fucking crazy to go through life and not think that you're kind of fucking nuts yourself. walking around thinking you have it all figured out. I think that that's fucking crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, you know, like shit freaks me out without a doubt. I'm not saying this shit, but I will tell you when Bruce became Caitlyn, there was definitely, you know, a what the fuck moment. Now I'm used to it. But what was weird about that was if you were like me, you weren't for some reason allowed to have that what the fuck moment. Which is one of those things that the left is like psychotic with. It's like you got to let everybody kind of go through their emotions as long as they're not hurting anybody. You're processing it. That's all, right? So anyway, this person says, I felt the same way until I realized I would always be an angry, sad person if I had stayed in the closet. I started listening to your podcast the same month I came out back in 2017 and have not been offended by the jokes about trans people. Contrary to what the far left or right wants you to think, trans folk have a pretty thick skin and we're no strangers to having to advocate for our rights. I've been doing a lot of work on undoing the anger I built up over my teenage years, and listening to your show has given me laughs when I needed them the most. Thanks, and go fuck yourself. Wasn't that great? Look at me, huh? I'm going to make that whole fucking thing about me. You know, the appeal of me, it's just really amazing. And you guys, I just want to say, as a podcast justice warrior, all right, so if anybody is listening to this and your kid is gay and they came out and you disowned them, can you not do that to them? That's such a fucking horrible thing to do to somebody. It really is. It really is. It's like, you know, just try to be, you know, just fucking work your way through it. You know what I mean? It's, I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. That happens to me with one of my kids. I mean, it's you. Just be who the fuck you are, and don't be a fucking asshole to other people. That's all I ask. Can you just do that? Great. All right.
So, anyways, I'm glad you're here to taper this part. So I was over here, and Mia showed me the cover of what magazine was that?
Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair.
Are we talking about Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah.
The Kardashians.
You just blew it. I was going to fucking build the whole thing up, and then, because I was looking at it going,
yeah.
how do I know? I'm like, how do I know that chick? Is that somebody we know?
You're like, I know that woman.
And I'm thinking, she's not good enough. She's not good looking enough to be on the cover. Is she a publicist? Is she some famous publicist? And then it was me, Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn with a C. Mm-hmm. Wow. I got to tell you, man, that is the
Congratulations, Caitlyn Cakes.
I know, I got to tell you, that's the most hardcore thing I've ever seen played out in, like, all that Marilyn Manson shit and Alice Cooper and Ozzy biting the head off a bat. Nothing compares to the what the fuck factor. And I'm not, you know.
You're comparing like shock rock tactics to someone becoming transgendered. I really don't.
Somebody that you knew.
Not.
Can you let me
continue with your ignorant thought? Sure.
No, that's, you know, you shouldn't say that. This is the first time I ever experienced this. I had to be able to fucking say what I'm thinking. You see, his own daughters are going like, so wait a minute, you're going to be borrowing my toenail polish? They got to get their head around it. I'm allowed to get my head around it. God bless him. Okay, that's what he wanted to do. Well, he did it. Now he's a she. Is he? But he still has his dick, right?
Bill.
Does he?
She wants to be called she. She wants to be called Caitlyn.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Call her she.
I'm all right with that.
She has not had surgery. No, she has not. I think that's something she might do in the future.
Okay, so she has a penis and she still is she at this point.
Correct.
So the reality is you don't have to do any of that. You could just say, I want to be called she, and people should just respect it.
Pretty much, because it's the whole idea about gender not necessarily being rooted in physicality or sexuality, it being more of a state of mind.
So this is like
which is a big debate, of course. But
so this is like some Ornette Coleman shit.
Who's that?
With your body. Ornette Coleman, he was one of those guys who played so free with jazz, there was really no one. And even like Charlie Parker would walk off the bandstand going, I don't know what the fuck these guys are playing.
Okay.
Is that right? I think this is a groundbreaking thing.
Yep.
That he's the first, and he will be like, he's like the, I don't know.
First what, though?
Well, I'm not going to wade into that fucking sinkhole. God knows I'll say the wrong fucking thing.
There was a transgendered person on the cover of Time magazine last year, which was actually the first.
No, but I mean,
Her
as
name
far
was
as
Laverne Cox from Orange Is the New Black.
What was her name before that? Larry?
I don't know, and it doesn't fucking matter.
I think you should keep your
She's
like
amazing.
I would be. I go from Bill. I would be Beth.
Would you?
Beth.
Oh
Burr.
wait, can we talk about that? Let's talk about if you decided to transition. Would you really go by Beth?
No, I think I'd be Janet, and I would be such a cunt.
So pretty much the same, right?
Yeah. But you know me now as a male, I'm awarded for being an asshole. You know that ridiculous feminist theory that if a woman does it, she's a cunt, but if a guy does it, they're like, oh, you want to be president? Fucking morons.
I feel like men are definitely called assholes when they're assholes, but I don't think they're morons for saying that. Men get to
do what?
They get to act, especially in business, in a more, let's say, cutthroat, like a Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban's a fucking dick, but Mark Cuban is also brilliant and a really successful businessman. But I feel like more often than not, he gets called brilliant and amazing.
No, he doesn't.
Even though
he gets called a jackass all the time.
Does?
All the time. When he runs out on the court and does all that stuff. Get off the court, you jackass.
I thought people were always saying, like, Mark Cuban is a, business genius and,
No, he is. But he is. He's undeniably is. But he doesn't get good reviews. That guy gets trashed all the time. No. You know what it is you guys have bad experiences with men while you're dating, and they get to be dicks and bang you and then leave, and you never quite are able to wash that off. So I think that you guys then look at us in a certain way.
I'm able to separate my experiences from dating dicks to dealing with dicks in day-to-day life. I am not so simple-minded and, like, one-dimensional that it's like, oh, my God, a guy dumped me one time, and now they're all dicks. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
But there was a period in your life, you can't tell me that you didn't get a little petty. I did.
I actually never did.
I did. All those guys that dumped me. No, I had it. Yeah,
I didn't necessarily have the greatest track record with men, but I didn't write you all off because of that. I still was looking for love.
Listen.
What?
All right. So what I'm saying is, as far as like the most hardcore fucking thing I've ever seen, as far as just spinning your head around like, holy shit, is the fact that Bruce Jenner, unlike that other woman who I don't even know who the fuck that is, who's on Time magazine, is that this guy, you gotta say, my whole life, I've known this guy from like second grade on. Yeah. He won the decathlon. He was on the Wheaties box. Mm-hmm. He was on Chips. He got a nose job, and then he disappeared, and then he came back on the Kardashians, and he was walking around in the background. And I remember Lawhead had this great fucking bit about, just being like, why are you sitting there getting bitched at? You got a fucking gold medal for the decathlon. They got you walking around in the background, I should be walking around with that medal around your neck or something, right? To then, I remember when TMZ was chasing around saying that he was having a sex change. I was like, oh my God, leave the guy alone. He doesn't like his face, and I don't know. He's doing whatever the fuck he's doing, and then it turned out they were right. And now when he comes out, call me Caitlyn. I mean, this is the thing, like, because what I don't get is there's going to be a lot of people that get in trouble as they're trying to fucking process this for the first time. This is their first time experience, and I think you ought to allow people to have that first dumb thing that comes out of their mouth, not understanding and being like, what? But everybody's going to jump on them. And someone will lose their career. To sit there and watch this guy, like you wanted to be this guy, you wanted to be Bruce Jenner. I wanted my hair parted down the middle and feathered to the side. I wanted to be a motorcycle cop. I wanted to do all of that shit. And then all of a sudden, I remember reading articles about him, like his fucking life. He's in between, girlfriends or whatever. And they went to his house and he had some Porsche Target. I still remember this in Sports Illustrated. A Porsche Target in the garage that he walked by and he ran his fingers along. He had a little bit of dust on it. I'm like, this guy, he's so the shit that he just has a leftover Porsche. I mean, This dude was like a guy's guy to then, boom, go the 180 the other fucking way.
Yeah, I think people should be definitely allowed to be honest with it. I just feel like the cruelty is what's unnecessary.
No, not cruelty, but you ought to be able to say, like, Bruce, what the fuck? Sorry, Caitlin, what the fuck? Wow. Wait a minute. Can I sit down for a second?
They were talking to one of his sons from his other marriages, like Brandon or something, and he said... She lifted up her dress to show his son her new boobs.
No!
And he goes, "Whoa, I'm still your son." Because it's like, yeah, whoa, wait, just give me a second. And then another one of his sons.
No, but he would never, when he was show his balls.
Of course.
It's where you came from, son.
Of course. No, of course. It was definitely, that would be very weird.
No, but that's always been my theory.
But, and the
girls who get fake boobs will show them to you like they got their nails done. Because it's an insecurity thing. So they're going to be like, see? Check out the girls.
I have 2 friends with amazing boob jobs. I never would have known. They're so good. You gotta pay for it. You know what I'm saying? You can't go out in there and get discount plastic surgery.
You don't go to Denny's when you get a boob job.
Like,
right?
whatever, the facial reconstruction that Caitlyn has had is fucking amazing. Now, of course, she still is a handsome woman, but like, it looks good. And those tits,
I don't even know what you're talking about. What
fabulous.
did you just mean she's still a handsome woman? Did you mean that she started off as a handsome guy?
No, there's some women that are like handsome.
This whole thing that I'm saying
like
right now,
Katharine
listen,
Hepburn.
this whole thing that I just said.
What?
You mean like that? That's the handsome guy, or like the woman right now? You know what? This whole fucking scenario is why I never watched Lost.
What?
This is why I never watched Lost.
How did you?
Because they were like, "Is this a dream state? Is there a fucking monster down here? What's going on?" And then now you're jumping back and forth on either side. It's like he's playing tennis against himself right now.
It's kind of like your ADD brain, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like bringing around insult Bill. Look, I'm on vacation. I'm trying to have a good time.
You, mon cher. But you know what else? One of his kids, her kids. See, even I'm slipping with the pronoun.
Oh, you homophobe, transgender hater! What's your career? We need to end it.
My career is lying around with you in France. Suck it.
No, that's that douche on Twitter who gave me shit. Anybody who starts a tweet with the word maybe, I'm done with.
Yeah.
Maybe don't blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What a cunt.
Oh, no, I was saying one of Caitlyn's sons said, I'm hoping, I think that, or something like that, Caitlyn will be a better parent than Bruce was. Something like that. No, I mean, she's been pretty open about it.
And then if Caitlyn starts crying, be like, Caitlyn, I wasn't talking to you. talking to Bruce.
No, by all accounts, especially his first set of kids,
he
wasn't there. Bruce wasn't there for them
because he was a fucking man.
And now that Bruce has become Caitlyn, you think
Bruce,
the femininity will
Bruce won the gold medal. Caitlyn still has to prove herself. She hasn't won shit yet.
She's won all of our hearts.
All right, no. But you know something else? Then there's also the falling all over yourself. There's the ignorant being mean about it. Then also going the other way where you fall all over yourself. And if Caitlyn's being a cunt, you can't call her a cunt because she used to be Bruce, which is bullshit.
Well, I guess Bruce was an asshole because Bruce really wanted to be Caitlyn and was struggling and was taking it out on other people and was literally running away.
I think Caitlyn is going to be the biggest gossipy. She's going to go to brunch and just talk shit about everybody in her immediate circle.
I'm pretty excited to see how this unfolds, actually. It's pretty major. Are you going to watch her show?
No, I never watched the Kardashians.
Oh, that's true.
I hate those fucking shows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And to be honest with you, I would have to, I'll just sort of walk by the TV and occasionally glance over. I need to ease my way into the fact.
You're gonna watch it over my shoulder.
And I have the fucking right to do that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, when you make that big of a fucking change. Jesus Christ, I shaved my head. People like, what the fuck? Yeah, you got to give people. You got to be courteous. And let people like fucking, all right, let me, okay. You should have like 5-minute visits and then they increase to 10, and you just got to gradually, like, I mean, you literally, it's like you killed off the other person. You know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, like, where are they?
Yep. Gone.
Yeah, so then it's weird. It's like, well, I technically should be liking you, right? But you're not the other person, but you're still you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he did something like he sold his soul to the devil and he's like trying to beat the devil at his own game? And now he's becoming like a woman at the end of his life so he could save his soul. And the devil's like, oh, where did Bruce go? And he's like, I don't know. It's like Angel Heart.
Are you talking about that movie with Lisa Bonet?
Yeah, and Mickey Rourke is fucking great. Louis Cypher. Anyways, who knows? I don't fucking know.
Bill Burr tackled Caitlyn Jenner.
No, I didn't. I'm getting my head around it, as I should be allowed to do.
All right. Can we find it? There we go. All right, this one's titled, Oh, Jesus. I am a 23-year-old man from Paducah, Kentucky. Now, why would you tell me that? I didn't want to read that. There's probably 18 people in your town, right? Needless to say, there isn't much to do. About 5 months ago, I met a girl who's 2 years younger than me and moved into town from East Cungamunga. We hit it off almost instantly. It was great. You know what? I'm going to have somebody bleep out this city. All right? I got to have him bleep out the city and the state. He goes, we hit it off almost instantly. It was great. She is beautiful, educated, and has a great ass. Sorry, a little Al Pacino for you. We took things slow, and I found that to be something unique in today's time. Most girls give it up within a day or two, but she wanted to take things slow, and I appreciated that. I found myself falling head over heels for this girl. I hadn't been with anyone in over 2 years, and I felt that I felt as if she was a sign that maybe there was a bit of hope in this world to be happy, and she communicated with me that she felt the same way. Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, we went out to a bar, and we had some drinks, played some pool, and had a great time, and ended up getting a little frisky with each other. I drove her home, totally expecting that tonight would be the night I was going to bang this beautiful woman. When we reached her driveway, we started making out in the car, and asked if she wanted to come in. She got real quiet and said under her breath, yes, but. And of course, I said, but what? And that's when she told me she is a transsexual. I literally yelled. I was so shocked by what I heard, I could hardly keep myself together. And I told her, him, whatever, that I wasn't going to go upstairs with her and I would call her tomorrow. And she got out of the car crying and said, I was born this way, like some Lady Gaga shit. Wait a minute, what is transsexual? Like a hermaphrodite? Wait a second. Ah, Jesus, Bill, you're too fucking dumb. Why do you guys write me? Is this the fun part of it? Just finding out how fucking dumb I am? Transsexual. This is hilarious. Now I have this on my search engine. Transsexual. And Neil will use my computer and look up like transcontinental, and transsexual is going to come up. Bill, is there something we need to talk about? Transsexual. Here we go. A person who's undergone a sex change operation. A person whose sexual identification is entirely with the opposite sex. All right, well, that just made me even more confused. So if you had an operation, how were you born this way? Or the person saying, I just identified with being a female. Oh, I see. Okay, so the dude had a sex change operation. Okay. He goes, I haven't spoke to her since. It's S-I-N-C-E, not S-E-N-C-S-E. That night, besides a few text messages. She's going on about how much she loves me and she is sorry she didn't tell me sooner.
It's even gone as far as me having to turn off my phone because she won't stop calling. I've never been pursued like this before. What do I do? Part of me actually feels bad, but I can't see myself banging an ass every night while my sweaty balls slap against her sweaty balls. Now, wait a minute. I thought the person had the operation. Don't they remove that? You know, I don't fucking know. Regardless of how gay this may sound, I still think she's incredibly hot. I knew it was too good to be true. Should I tell her that I'm just not interested anymore and completely cut her off, or should I be her friend? Or should I go bang her ass? It's weird. The thought of banging her ass excites me, but the thought of her junk swinging around makes me want to throw up just thinking about it. Thanks, Bill, and come do a show in such and such state sometime, you fuck. What should you do? I don't know. I honestly don't know. What's funny is you're literally just like, you're mentally where she is sexually. You know? I don't know. Like, it's like you're standing on the state line and you got a foot in either state. Just like her. You know? So I think your emotions are normal. And I hate when fucking people get offended by this shit. And they go, that's fucking you. You know, they get all offended like that dude is now a woman. It's like, no, that is a dude that fucking is a different kind of dude now. You know, that's not a woman. It's still a dude. It's just a different kind of dude. You know what it's like? You ever see when somebody buys an old car and they take all the chrome off it? They want that nice clean look. Yeah, that's what they do to their crotch. But, you know, that's a dude that took the chrome off. You know? I don't know what to tell you. Other than I don't know. Do like that fucking. I don't know. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Is what I would say. Let me go back and read what you said. Should I tell him I'm not interested anymore? Completely cut her off. All right. Part of me actually feels bad because I can't see myself banging an ass every night while my sweaty balls slap against her sweaty balls. Well, if it makes you feel better, I don't think the balls are there anymore. Although they might have kept them like a hood ornament. I have no idea. Ah, Jesus. I really am a moron. Regardless of how gay this may sound, I still think she's incredibly hot. You know, why don't you just split the difference and get a blowjob? I don't know what to tell you. That's so funny. I knew it was too good to be true, this poor bastard. I would say this. I'd say you'd want to sit on that decision. Don't be like the Baltimore Colts in the 1983 draft. Did you guys just watch that 30 for 30 where they immediately walked up 2 seconds in and they selected John Elway? You know, rather than fucking waiting the full 2 minutes or whatever to see if anybody gave him an offer. And then they ended up with nothing. I'd sit on this one for a minute. And I think that this person's actually pursuing you the way that they are because they're in a desperate situation, which is the whole thing is, in reality, the whole thing is unfortunate. You know, people should be able to be who they are. You should be able to like who you like, and that person should be able to, from day one, say that they're transsexual without getting judged. The reason why they didn't say it was because they were worried about this fucking moment here, which once again is another sad, depressing thing about humanity. I would say follow your heart, sir. You know? And not your balls. If you really want to find love. There you go. Balls in your court. No pun intended. All right. Advice for a young lady. Hey, Billington. Very, very original ones this week. People coming up with different ways to butcher my name. I'm enjoying these. I am in need of some advice for a young lady. And I love that some women are actually piping in, despite the fact how much I talk about hockey on this podcast. What are you saying? Women don't like hockey? Yes, this is what I'm saying. I'm an 18-year-old high school senior entering my freshman year of college. I got into my dream school with a scholarship. Do you know how bad I wish that I did that? Wish I studied in high school. Anyways, and I'm moving out of my shithole town, and everything finally seems to be making up for all the shit that I went through in high school. One of my really good friends is going to the same university as I am, and we're renting an apartment together. However, my friend is an 18-year-old straight guy, and I am a straight girl. Uh-oh. The gender thing could add a whole other level of difficulty on top of adjusting to living with a new person in a new city, away from everything I grew up around. We've been friends practically since we were in diapers. We can talk, jam out to 70s rock, and watch the Chappelle Show for hours, and we've never had issues with weirdness before. But I do understand that college introduces a lot of firsts, and I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous that having a few too many drinks during a welcome weekend could lead to some inappropriateness. Weirder things have happened. I don't want to do anything to jeopardize our nearly 2-decade-long friendship. So this kind of sounds like you're a little attracted to this guy, that if you're this worried that something's going to happen. Or maybe you're 18, you're going from your parents' house to all of a sudden living with the guy. Maybe that's what it is. I'm going to guess that that's what it is. So anyway, my question. What tips do you have to stop anyone from stepping over the line with a male/female roommate? Also, in general, what tips do you have for living with a roommate? Nia's opinion on this would be epic. Thanks, and fuck you. Yeah, that was Nia's great fuck you last week. You know what? Maybe this Wednesday we'll do another Nia log, and I'll read this one. But right now, I'll just give you my own ignorant thought on it. Oh, wait. By the way, there's a PS to this, everybody. There's an epilogue, just like the streets of San Francisco. PS, might I add that we've both been in various relationships while friends. He often asks me for girl advice, and I ask him for guy advice. He currently has a girlfriend who I really like and am friends with, but they are breaking up in June when she leaves to study abroad. I am currently single. Oh, yeah, you guys are going to bang within fucking 8 minutes. Within 8 minutes of your college career. All right, so basically what you want to do, you're not asking me should you or should you not move in with this guy. You're going to move in with this guy. So what you're really saying is basically, how do I not fuck this guy? Well, I can only do it from the male perspective, which is what I would do is every morning before I ever even walked out into the living room was I would rub one out. Oh, God. To try to get that fucking, urge out of me. I think what you need to do is sit down and talk with the guy. And just say, listen, we have a great friendship, but I don't want to ruin this. I know we're moving in together and everything. But, obviously, we're going to be in close quarters, sharing a bathroom and blah, 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 blah. You know what you have to do? You have to lay down the law, if that's what you really want to do. But if you actually like this guy, like I think you might, if you actually like him and think you could actually, did I just say that? If you like him, do you know what I mean? Do you? Oh my God, you guys, this could be the one. If you actually like this dude like that, then you should not move in with him. You should be in a separate apartment. And that way, if you start dating him,
you don't immediately start by living with one another. You know?
I know my dad was his funniest though, was whenever you like broke something. Because my dad would totally flip out, right? But the words he used, you would have actually thought it was a good thing. You know what I mean? Like you'd break a window, psh, he'd be like, nice! Real nice! Oh, that's beautiful! That is just beautiful! I swear to God, that channel is unbelievable. It's 24 hours of food. That's got to be like the Playboy channel in Ethiopia. I'm serious. If I was in Ethiopia, that is a channel I would watch, you know? Wouldn't watch like HBO or ESPN. I'd be sitting there watching the food going, damn, man! Look at that cake! You know, like hanging out with all my skinny friends. Look at those hot dogs, man! A good story is always you doing something wrong, you know? That's why nice people are so damn boring. I mean, they're nice, but their stories suck. A nice person tells you a story. Halfway through it, I just want to start screaming, you know? Like I went to the beach today, saw sunrise and a picnic. I'm like, ah! Where are the hookers? Where's the drugs? Those are two key elements for a story. I'll tell you the only thing I like about my computer is I really enjoy spell check. No, I love it. You know what I love about spell check? You don't have to be close to getting the word right. Have you ever noticed that? All you gotta do is just get it like somewhere like within the ballpark of the word. It's almost like your computer can just start guessing like, I don't know, dinosaur? You know, when you're sitting there like an idiot, like, nah, I wasn't trying to spell dinosaur. I'm serious. Women have like too much energy for me. That's what I've noticed, you know? Like you can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. They just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's go fill it up with some stuff. Really like religious. She goes to church every week and I never go and it freaks her out. She's like, why don't you go to church? You don't believe in God and heaven and hell and all that stuff? Why don't you go? And it's not because I don't believe in a higher power. I definitely do. My thing is when I go to church, I can't get past the fact that I'm just listening to some fucking guy. You ever think of that shit when you go in there? That's just some dude. And people are like, no, that's a special guy. No, it isn't. You ever drive down the street and see like 30 people up on the sidewalk and you just think, right? You don't do it, you just think it. That's what separates the psychos from the functioning psychos. No, but it's unbelievable. Everybody is talking about pedophiles and all that type of stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's more of them nowadays. Is it like easier now? Because of the internet, you know? You know, because back in the day you had to work for it, right? You know, you had to get an ice cream truck, you had to buy some fudgicles, you had to figure out when the kids got out of school, you pick a straggler, you know? All right. This is how it works with guys. Anytime you do anything remotely sensitive, heartwarming, anything that's going to make you more of a loving, caring individual, immediately all your guy friends suggest that maybe, just maybe, you want to suck a dick. You know, my dad was like that. My dad's the greatest dude I ever met in my life. And he had a temper. Anytime anything broke in the house, 5 minutes into fixing it, he was bitching about his marriage. It was hilarious. He'd see something broke. Oh, Christ, will you look at that? God damn it, Billy, give me that fucking screwdriver. I swear to God, I don't know what the fuck I ever got married for. But what kills me is that there's actually guys out there that will actually listen to that shit. Yeah, you talk to them, they'll be, hey, how's it been going? Oh, you know, been rough last couple of nights downstairs on the couch. You know how that is, right? No, I don't. I don't understand. Yeah, how did you get yourself into that situation? I shouldn't make fun of Ebola. I don't know anything about it. Other than if you get it, you have this unbelievable urge to go to the airport. Right? Yeah, I don't know what it is. Nobody gets Ebola, just has the decency to just walk out in the woods by themselves and just bleed out like a gentleman, right? I think about the population all the time, and I think I got the plan. I would just start randomly sinking cruise ships. Think about the kinds of people that take a cruise. These aren't forward thinkers. I'd love to adopt. It's a great thing to do. But if I do it, I'm not telling any of my friends. I'm just going to show up with the kid one day. Just to piss him off, right? Mine just turned 6. Mine just turned 7. I'd love to just show up with an 8-year-old like dominoes. Yeah. Now I get to tell you what you don't understand. I should adopt. I think it's a great thing to do. And I already know what I want to get. I want to get like an 07, 08. Always garage. Good dentition. You know what I would love to do? I'd love to rescue some kid that works in a sweatshop. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, find the kid that made this shirt. You show up at the factory like, hey, huh? Hey, bring it in. Bring it in, you maniac. How you doing? You're going back to the States. L-shaped couch, flat screen TV, get in the car. The rest of you keep throwing. But you, coming home with me. Yeah. So that was like a thing for like half a second. Sean Connery died. The great Sean Connery. Yeah, my favorite James Bond of all time. Yeah, and he was getting a proper send-off for about 8 minutes on Twitter, and then the first hairy-legged white chick shows up, right? And she's just got to be like, yeah, are we really going to celebrate this man who advocated the hitting of women? It's like, first of all, he didn't advocate hitting women, okay? He just said, every once in a while, you give him a little slap. Yeah, give him a little back of the hand. You remind them who's making the box office. You reset their hard drive. That's all he said, okay? Yes, it's a crazy statement in 2021. 1976, it's not good, but it's not crazy. Right? Yeah, and that's not a homophobic thing either, that I wouldn't send my hypothetical son to drama class. I'd let my hypothetical daughter take a drama class, okay? My son can't fucking do any of that shit unless I'm sending him to one of those fame high schools where everybody's doing it, one of those creative schools. Go to the cafeteria, everybody's like, cottage cheese, what is it made of? Right? Like, then he can do all he wants. But there's no way I'm letting him do that at a public school with those goddamn animals. He's gonna get the shit kicked out of him, gonna come home with his underwear up his ass, and then I have to be the adult and go down to the principal and be like, oh, there's some sort of tomfoolery around here. I don't want to do that. I want to find the fucking 8-year-old. What is he, this tall? I want to find the kid that did it to my kid, tip him upside down into some sand or a puddle, anywhere where oxygen is going to be an issue, right? And just leave him there, right? And you wait till that one leg just starts shaking so you know he's down to his last breath. And then you turn him upside down, you're upside right, you grab him by his throat, and you just say something horrific. You ever do that again, I'm going to beat your mother to death with the family dog. Now, one of my fantasies is I want to drive by like a woman's rally and just say the most sexist shit I can think of, just to watch them lose their minds. And I'll just drive by real slow and be like, yeah, why don't you get back in the kitchen where you belong? Just to look in their rearview mirror, watching them flipping out on the road, spinning around like Leatherface at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like... It was fucking nuts. Yeah, I grew up in a very, angry time. Like you were afraid of your dad, your dad's dad. I talked about this shit before, but I'm still working through it, so just bear with me. You just were fucking... Yeah, I love seeing kids nowadays loving their dad. Like, Dad, what's Dad? Want to go play, Dad? Let's go ride bikes, Dad! Dad! Yeah, when I was a kid, it was like, Dad, fuck, Dad, fuck! Run! Open a window! Mom, what did you see in that? Fucking lunatic, right? And not just my house. I love my parents, but it was just the time. Everybody was fucking crazy. You were afraid, and people could put their hands on you, and other people's dads could hit you, and then you come home, oh, what the fuck did you do? I'll fucking hit you first, just nuts. Teachers would grab you, dig their nails into your fucking neck. She'd come home. Well, she wouldn't have done that unless something fucking happened, right? It was all of that shit. I was doing a gig in Dallas, and some waitress wrote on a piece of chalkboard. She goes, we like our beer the way we like our violence, domestic. Right? Yeah, I gotta tell you something. That's a great fucking joke. There is zero fat on that. You need every word of that joke. You take one word out, it doesn't work. It's a perfect joke. So whatever, nobody gives a shit. One person comes in, they don't like it. They ask the manager to take it down. He's just like, that's our sense of humor here. Have a beer, go fuck yourself. That's what we're doing. So she takes a picture of it, she puts it up on Facebook, and all of a sudden people start complaining, and they fired the manager and the waitress because of that. Yeah. Like, I don't understand. Like, what do they think's going to happen if somebody reads that joke? Like, you're some guy who would never hit a woman, you know? Would never hit a woman. You can't hit women. You can't. You honestly cannot. You ever see how they fall? They fall like toddlers. You know? 100% true fucking story. I was doing a private gig. Private gigs are the fucking worst. You do a public gig, anybody can show up. It broadens what you can talk about, right? You do a private gig, it's like everybody grew up on the same fucking streets. All your jokes got to go right down fucking Main Street or you're bombing. So all you do is listen to the first comic to hear what's working and what isn't. You just listen to him as he's up there struggling, going, okay, they like bread. Talk about bread. Get all the bread you can. Don't make fun of the troops. Stay away from the troops, right? So that's what we're doing, right? And the host gets him going, and then he brings up the first act. Okay, she goes on stage. She's not really a comedian, more of a personality. She does her bullshit or whatever, and I'm standing there looking at my jokes, figuring out what I'm doing. She wraps it up. He goes on stage. She goes to get off. I'm thinking, okay, I'm next. I'm looking at my stuff, and she just walks right by me and just fucking, pooh, just flicked me right in the head of my dick and kept walking. Like it was nothing. Just fucking pow, and just kept... I couldn't fucking believe it. I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, is this a friend of yours? Was she flirting with you? Was this a joke? None of the above. You know what it was? I swear to God, it was like a bully vibe. Like she was trying to get in my head. Like, there you go, you little red dick. Poof, follow that. And she just kept walking. Dude, my first thought as I saw her walking away, I just wanted to punch her in the back of the head as hard as humanly possible. Like literally make her leave her shoes. You know? But the other side of my brain's like, oh, no, dude, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's a woman. And it's just spitball. Well, fucking boot her in the ass then. Boot her in the ass. Can't hit her, dude. Can't hit her. It's a woman. Well, oh, fucking tell somebody. Tell somebody. And all I'm thinking is like, dude, I'm a guy. Can't fucking tell anybody. Nobody gives a shit what happens to a guy. I'm going to walk up to another man and be like, excuse me, sir, but she just flicked me in my pee-pee and I didn't like that one bit. No, sir, I didn't like that at all. No, I didn't. All the guy's going to be like, dude, if she did that to me, I would have taken my balls out too. Be like, hey, fucking flick both of these fucking sports bars. So now I'm standing there. I'm waiting to go on stage. The dude's doing my intro. I'm trying to think about jokes about bread, and the tip of my dick is still stinging. This is the world I'm in. And right as he's going to bring me on, all of a sudden she came walking out because she was going to go back out to her fucking car. And that's when my brain started firing up again with some ideas. Started thinking shit that I had never thought before in my life. Going like, dude, there she is. There she is. Flick her in the box. Do it, man. Equal rights. She did it to you. You do it back to her. It started making sense. Like, yeah, fuck that. You flick my dick. I'm going to flick your clit. That's right. I'll fucking hit the man in the boat. I'm going to drop down. Uppercut to the bush. Fuck this shit. Think I'm the kind of person who just can flick my dick and walk away like it ain't shit, right? And it was making sense till right when she got there. Finally, I just started thinking of all the sporting events I had watched. And I realized that the referee only sees the retaliation. He never sees the first aggression. And then you have to go to the yellow card, whatever the fuck you people do over here, right? You go to the penalty box.